Welcome to Through the Rough, a place where real-life people share the real-life experiences that have shaped us into who we are today.
Welcome to part 2 of Tessa's story.
But, I've thought about that plan B. I didn't end up having to flail myself, which was good. I did successfully dial 911 the second time around, and I was able to get out 42nd, which was the off-ramp,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that they can also attempt to locate me. Yeah.
GPS.
Yeah, because he was able to figure out where I was and tell me that he was gonna send an ambulance.
What a badass.
I know, right?
Like, for real. 42nd. Oh, I got you. I'll be there in 5 minutes.
And I thought, I'm like, I'm literally like 5 minutes away from the hospital. I'm so close.
That honestly was the best place to pull off.
Right?
Yeah.
Things working,
Yeah.
for me
Yes, there was.
at this point. However, this 911 operator also hung up the phone before the ambulance got to me.
Okay. He lost his points.
Yeah.
Let's take him back.
What the? I don't know if he just didn't think I was serious, or I honestly don't know. I don't
guess-
know.
I mean, I don't know what is there, you think they're supposed to stay on the line most of the time unless you tell them I'm okay now.
If
I'll
you work in
wait.
emergency
I don't know.
services and you're a 911 operator, comment on this. Let us hear how it's supposed to be done where
Yeah.
you're from.
Yeah.
Should
Like-
he have stayed on the line?
Yeah.
Personally,
I think so. I think he should have stayed on line until at the very least, until the police or an ambulance
Yeah.
showed up.
But it was a short drive for them.
Yeah.
You can't give me 5 minutes of just sitting in silence to make sure that I don't croak
Yeah.
or something.
reassuring you you're going to be okay. Help us on the way. I'm here on the line with you. I will be here if you need anything, anything.
Yeah. No, there was none of that. And so it's a weird moment when he hung up the phone and I'm like, well, what the fuck do I do now? And so I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, well, my real only responsibility right now, because I've done everything that I can do, is to just keep breathing.
Mhm.
And that's really all I can do.
That's about as basic as you can get, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Like the most primal survival skill is to stay breathing.
Yep. All I can do is just keep breathing in and out and in and out and wait. There's nothing else that I can do.
Did you ever feel that your breathing was affected or anything like that? Or it's just kind of a way to maybe keep you focused on something?
I don't know if it was necessarily affected. I was definitely panicky. So I know I was breathing quickly because I was not necessarily trying to slow my breaths in that moment, but just to focus on it. So I don't think I wasn't struggling to breathe.
Was there a level of anxiety? Heart rate's really high.
Yeah, I think I was definitely anxious, especially at first, until I got off to the side of the road. The anxiety was super high. And then once I came to a stop, once I called 911 and realized you've done everything you're supposed to do. So you just sit here. And I remember thinking is this what people talk about when you're near death and they say you have this sense of calm that comes over you?
Oh, fuck. You thought about that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did you accept that or were you scared? What the hell?
At the moment, it was just okay.
Seriously?
For real. I totally believe that, yes, your body has this response when you're in some kind of life or death situation, that it just puts you in a place of calm.
Did you think you were dying?
I thought it was an option, yeah.
Did you think you were very probably gonna die?
I thought it was 50-50.
Holy fuck.
But
How'd that make you feel?
I don't know. I feel like I should have been more scared than I was.
But you were more present?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a moment during that, thinking back on your life?
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have done this. I would have, anything like that. Or is it more just I'm just trying to breathe right now?
No, I did think there was a thought that went through my mind, and I thought, I'm you know what? I feel like I did an all right job.
Aw. Look at you.
So if I go now, damn, I guess I won't have to deal with my back pain anymore or like paying with bills. Because, oh, yeah, I was also waiting to have back surgery during this time. The stroke had to put a pause on that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I I wasn't as scared as I always thought I would be if I was really thinking
Shit.
die in this moment. I could die on the side of the interstate in this fucking Kia.
Yeah, I mean, you could die at any given moment, any given second, but like when you're faced with that possibility in a conscious state, a person wonders where your reflections go in those moments.
Yeah. I looking back, like I've thought about it a lot. Those moments just sitting in the car and waiting. And I do feel, and I'm not a very religious person at all. I'm spiritual, and I definitely believe that I was not alone when I was on the side of the road.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, I felt that whether it was my ancestors or someone that was just watching over me, like, someone else was there.
Describe that. Like, how do you, what gives you that idea? What gives you that sense?
I think it was just, like, a sense of surrounding. Like, I've done, with my therapist in recent months, I've done, like, a lot of, like, energy visualization and, like, protection visualization, and that's kind of what it felt like. Like, lately when I've been overwhelmed or feeling out of control or stressed or anxious, like, I'll imagine myself kind of in this pyramid almost, and that's kind of what it felt like, as it was just so much energy that wasn't mine that was built up around me, like holding me in that space. So I didn't really feel worried. I felt held,
That is
and
fucking amazing.
yeah,
Was it
it made
almost
me less scared.
That is fucking amazing.
what I would say was it comforting feeling
Yeah.
then?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
someone comforting you?
absolutely. It
Wow.
just felt like I wasn't alone, even though I very much was.
Mhm.
Even the fucking 911 operator hung up on me.
That cocksucker. Let's find that fucker's name.
God, I know, right? Pull up the receipt. Fuck.
That's amazing. That is such a profound statement to make, that in that moment of crisis, near death crisis, you went to a place of peace, serenity. You felt warmth and unity. You felt like somebody was there with you. You weren't alone in that moment. And you
Yeah.
wonder if other people who have been in similar situations that maybe didn't turn out as well as your situation did have gone through the exact same experience or not.
Yeah. I
Or
fully believe that some people have, and maybe some people haven't. I think it depends on your openness to what's on the other side of the veil, you know? Like, I think some people are more in tune with that than others. Some people purposefully push it out of their life because it's too much, it's too scary. But, I don't know. I think death has always been something that not necessarily that has scared me in life, but that I've always felt is very real.
Mhm.
And I think I think I got to know death a little bit better, or at
yeah,
least I said hi.
yeah, you guys were like, this bump. No, wait, I'll hold up. COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
That's 6 feet, bitch. Get back.
Now not now, bro, but
Exactly.
we'll meet again.
I'm like, okay, well, we did that, and it didn't feel so bad. So, maybe I don't know. I also watch a lot of murder shows, and I'm like, I could die a very tragic and violent death. Maybe maybe it's going to be way worse. But if it's anything like what I experienced in just this near death traumatic experience, it's not something that our human psyche or physicality are unprepared for. I think we are all built to be prepared for that ending, but we don't know that.
That is a profound statement. That is amazing.
So, when you go to die, it's not going to be that bad.
I kind of wonder. I would love to live a very long, healthy life.
Me too. I plan on it after this. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Enough scares.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, so I waited. I actually was able to call Benny during that time because I wanted to see if I could. If
Mhm.
I could call him, I wanted to. I just wanted to see him. I just wanted him to be here and to know where I was. Uh, and he's in my favorites on my phone. So he was a one tap call, which was nice. So I called him and I couldn't obviously say much, but after a couple times of like trying to get it out, I managed to say something like, I can't feel legs or I can't feel arms. Like that's all that he said he could understand because he thought that I had been in a car wreck. And he just immediately told the his boss, he's like, Tessa's been in a car accident. I could hear him. He said, Tessa's been in a car accident. I have to go right now. And I'm like, oh my God, is he going to make it before the ambulance? And same thing, I was able to get 42nd. And he was like, where on 42nd? And somehow I was able to like mumble this out. It took a couple times to repeat myself so that he could understand where to go to find me. But he was very close. So it was a race between the ambulance and Benny to see who was going to get there first. The ambulance got there first. And
Only because he hung up on you.
yeah, right.
Fucker.
The ambulance got there first. Um, and they kind of just, asked me some questions. Obviously, I couldn't really respond that well, but I tried to like point and show them kind of what was going on. And obviously, my speech was kind of a giveaway. Um, so they pulled me out of my car, got me on a gurney, and put me in the ambulance. Um,
Did they have to, like, lift you out since, like,
mhm.
you couldn't feel your legs?
Yeah, they lifted me out of the car and set me on the little rolly gurney.
Mhm.
Um,
What'd that feel like? Mentally.
good. I
Yeah.
was glad to be going somewhere. I'm like, okay, we're making the next right step. Like I remember thinking back to everything that my mother had taught me because she was an EMT for years and everything that she had taught me and talked about over the years. And it was like I knew in my mind the steps that you have to take. This is what you do now. This is what you do next. Okay, check that off. Okay, now we're in the ambulance. They're going to put an IV in me. They're going to give me fluids. They're going to get me started. And then we're going to go to the next, probably get scans and all of that.
And you know this why?
My mother, my mother, Heather Thompson. Shout out to Heather Thompson because she knows her shit and she has saved so many lives
What does your
over
mom
the
do?
years. Okay, so now my mother is a safety development director for a plant, like a big plant in Crete, Nebraska. But she was an EMT for God, I think 14 or 15 years
Oh, wow.
Right on.
prior to that. So, and in rural Nebraska, so she's seen some very
Interest
ugly and interesting
Accidents.
accidents. Yeah, and trauma events. And I mean, she had me very young, so there were times when I was a teenager and she would come home from these calls and she's able to talk about them to like immediate family if it's what helps her mentally get through it. Obviously, you can't just go talking about your EMT calls to everybody, but but for their own mental health, they're able to talk to immediate family. So she would tell me about certain things that she went through and how to handle emergency situations and what to look for, what questions to ask people when you come up upon like a car accident. Um, just all of these things that just came rushing back. And so I kind of recognized the process that needed to happen.
Do you feel like that kinda gave you a bit of an advantage, like, with your ability to, I don't know, not freak out?
Yeah. I think being able to kind of like almost triage the situation in my
Yeah.
head and know what needs to be happen or needs to happen allowed me to have some kind of comfort while it was happening.
If like, what do you think your state of mind would be had you not had that, I'm just gonna call it training or experience from your mother?
I think I would have panicked a lot more.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that I don't think that time between the 911 call and the ambulance actually arriving would have been as calm because I would have been it's the confusion and the not knowing and the out of control that made me feel the most anxious. So once I kind of had at least some control over my situation, I had an ambulance coming.
Were
It
you
was like,
mentally
okay.
prepared at any point, ever, at any point, to accept that you no longer had control at all and that you might not get it back?
No. I always had control as long as I could keep breathing.
Okay.
I never lost
That's a kick-ass way to look at it.
full control. Like,
Yeah.
my soul was still living. Just
Yeah.
because my meat suit was, like, malfunctioning, like, I was very much still there.
I love your terminology.
You
It was a meat suit malfunction, guys.
Me too, Brian.
So, yeah, but no, I never once thought, like, "Oh, I'm gone. Like, Tessa's gone from this body." No, I just was like, "This fucking suit is not listening to me right now, and I know why, and I understand what's happening." I didn't know why it was happening at the time, so that was a little scary,
Mhm.
but I understood what the next steps were gonna be and that I was probably lucky because I was young and I didn't have any other, like, overwhelming health problems. So, I thought I had a pretty decent chance, and I was still breathing and,
Mhm.
like, with it.
So you were kinda consciously thinking about your survivability option then as this is going through you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that I've always thought of myself as a pretty solid survivor.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, I was raised to be one tough little shit. I mean, a military family. Dad just retired after like 3 decades in the army,
yeah.
and families from the Pacific Northwest originally, and we were not, super well off growing up. I was never told that life was fair. They never sugarcoated anything for me. My mother told me that life was gonna kick you in the ass and it was gonna suck, but you're gonna be fine.
That's a good parenting skill right there, my man.
Yeah. I'm so thankful. Really. I'm so thankful because in this moment it was just like, well, mama said there might be days like these.
Well, hell yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit. Okay. This is a big obstacle that I'm coming up to in my life. This is a life changer. This is a game changer. But I knew at some point, some things are going to happen like this. Everybody's going to go through some really traumatic shit at some point, whether it's like, losing a loved one or experiencing a major health crisis of your own. I mean, everybody's going to go through trauma and experience trauma in one way or another. That's life, unfortunately.
The rough.
Yeah, go through the rough.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I don't know. As weird as this sounds, do you feel like you really live life if you haven't gone through the downs? Because without the downs, you don't have the ups.
It's true. I think you definitely have a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm I've noticed for me just going through this, I mean, I definitely have a different perspective on life and what's a big deal and what's not, and where I place my energy on the daily, what I allow into my life, and what I allow myself to react to in life has changed a lot. Um, and just how appreciative I am for the little things,
Yeah.
just like I know it's cold as shit out, but maybe take a moment and look up at the stars tonight. Like just do a little woosah. Yeah, do a little woosah. Take a moment and just appreciate something small. Not that the stars are small, but something that you don't think about every day.
If you have astigmatism, the stars are fucking huge.
You know what? I didn't think about that, but I have an astigmatism in only one of my eyes, so maybe they look different to me.
Well, close one and close the other.
And just see,
You're like,
ooh, they got a lot bigger in that eye.
But yeah, it's changed me a lot, I think. And in a good way, for the better, for the remainder of this crazy roller coaster of a life that we live. Uh,
I'm going to hit pause for this real quick.
yeah.
All right, we're back from the pause. We're going to pick up where we left off there, where Tessa was just getting rolled onto a stretcher from not entirely flopping out onto the interstate like she intended, but they got her out of the car.
Yes, they got me out of the car, and they got me into the ambulance, and I immediately vomited again. So we're back to this. Once they realized that I was gonna keep going with that, they handed me this giant Tupperware, which I then, like, proceeded to fill with my bodily contents that I don't know where they came from. I don't understand how I had anything left at this point.
And you were
I'm
still producing.
I'm still vomiting.
Vomiting.
Yes. I even heard the poor EMT when he was, like, talking to the hospital, he's like, "She's vomiting a lot." And I also remember there was a really young guy, EMT, who was desperately trying to get my IV into my hand, and he blew my vein, and I was wearing a white jacket, and I remember feeling pissed because he got blood on my jacket.
I would have been pissed too.
Do you still have the jacket?
Yeah, I still have
Are
it.
there still blood spots on it?
Yeah, there's still a couple. They're faded. I tried to
At
wash them out.
at least it wasn't a trauma situation where you got all your clothes cut off.
No, I know, right? Yeah. So it was, the jacket's still functional. It's just got a little bit of yuck stain.
That's not even yuck, man. It's got a life story on its sleeve.
I think that's why I didn't throw it away.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's in my closet. But Benny made it just right before they were about to take off to the hospital with me because I remember they allowed him to like poke his head in behind me in the back door of the ambulance, and he just looked in and told me he loved me and that he would meet me at the hospital. And I immediately started crying. So, like, oh my God. I just wanted to see him and I only got a glimpse. And that I didn't know, but at that point in time, that would be the last time that I would see Benny for like, oh, 12, 13, 14 hours
Wow.
later. Um, so he got back in his car and followed the ambulance to the hospital. Again, it's a short trip. We're really close. And um, I remember when they pulled up in the back, I started, like in the back of the hospital where the ambulance drops you off, I started to vomit again as they were taking me out. And I remember thinking, like, is this going to stop? Can they give me something to make this stop? And they, I don't think they gave me anything right away. They immediately rolled me in and started doing scans and every test and scan and everything under the sun. All the wires hook up to me. They redid my IV because the guy had blown my vein. They're looking at it and they're like, "Oh my god, let me take this off of you."
Let's do this a little
In
differently.
in the EMTs, in his defense, we were moving. We were in a moving vehicle. So I can't imagine, I'm not in healthcare. I can't imagine trying to put an IV in a moving vehicle.
No.
So,
It's like trying to put your cup in the cup holder at the movie theater, I think.
yeah, that's what it seemed like, honestly. I felt bad for him, but at the same time, he was trying to put it in my left hand, and I'm like, "It's not gonna work. It never works in my left hand. Just do the arm." But I can't tell him that.
Yeah.
You're like, and he's like, shut up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to fix you.
yeah. In the meantime, I'm like, "Oh, gotta vomit again." Like, this is not a communicative situation. I just was watching it all.
At this point, were you puking more frequently?
No, I had paused, like, while I was sitting in the car and trying to get the ambulance there and all of that, like, I didn't barf at that point in time.
And I suppose even when you were driving, you weren't throwing up.
No. I made it until I got in the ambulance.
That is so weird.
I wonder if it was your body's way of like because obviously if you're vomiting straight, like, your
Yeah.
body, something was like, nope, we're going to hold her off on that so she can get through
Exactly.
this. And then now we're good. Okay, now let's start vomiting again.
Yeah, it said, "Bitch, you need to focus right now,
Yeah.
okay? We can only do one thing at a time. You can vomit later." So it was like I held it all down, and then we got in the ambulance, and everything came out again.
God, whatever that shit was beyond toxic.
It was whatever it was, my body was pissed. I've been so, so, so sick before. I've ended up in the hospital with influenza A. Like, I have been ill, and that was scary. I mean, not even food poisoning usually lasts that long. Like, usually with food poisoning, after you throw up, you feel better, right? No, not with this. It was, like, never ending. And so as I'm getting pulled out of the ambulance, I'm like, "Will you please just give me something, like some anti-nausea meds or something that will make this stop?" And I remember like, being nauseous as they were rolling me around, trying me to get me, like, they did, like, a CAT scan, obviously, they're doing a CT scan, they're doing all of those, and I'm having to be moved from, like, tables to tables to tables, and
Mhm.
I kept telling them, I'm like, "Hold on, I'm gonna barf again," and then it would pass, and I would breathe through it. So I started to kind of, like, gain a little bit of control over my stomach while I was in the hospital because 'cause they're shoving me in these tubes and shit, and I'm like, "I cannot barf in here. What if I barf in this thing?" So, I stopped eventually. I think they did end up giving me some anti-nausea meds to help it stop, because I was also, like, incredibly dehydrated at this point as
Mhm.
well, so they're trying to get fluids in me like crazy, running all these tests, trying to make sure that my nausea is under control, and Benny tried to come in through the front of the emergency room and explain to them that his girlfriend is Tessa Thompson. She was just brought here by the ambulance. We think she's having a stroke. Where is she? Well, the front desk folks said, she's not in a room yet. There's nowhere for us to send you. She's not here yet. And they had me, I was getting scanned and all of these things. I wasn't in a room. I was being wheeled from one scan room to the next.
They c Yeah, 'cause you were a trauma patient, so, like, yeah, they probably didn't have you roomed or anything yet 'cause they were
No.
just, you're in, the trauma bay is what you're, like, labeled where you'd be at.
Right, right. So when, the front desk folks are looking for me, they're like, she's not in here. And of course, Benny is freaking out. Like, what do you mean? I just saw her get taken to the back of your facility in an ambulance. Like, what the fuck? And bless Benny, he is a hothead. I love him, and if his beloved is in need, like, it's heightened,
Yeah,
obviously. Um, so he asked if he could just wait in the waiting room. It was still kind of COVID times. So they wouldn't allow him to wait in the waiting room. They said he needed to go back out to his car, and I think he swore at them, and that was the final the final straw. They called security and told him that he had to leave, and they wouldn't allow him back in.
Period?
Yeah. Yep. Because they said he was not following protocol.
Period.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like, "Nope,
Period.
fuck you, dude. You're out of here. You had your chance.
Yep.
Sit in the corner, little blue.
Yes.
Figure
They
it out."
would not let him in. Would not let him in, and so I finally, after all the scans, get put in a room and they're just monitoring me. They're trying to get a neurologist down to talk to me, and I'm just sitting by myself. And I asked one of the nurses, I'm like, "Is my boyfriend here?" And they were the ones to go to the front desk and figure out what had happened and told me what had happened and that he wasn't being allowed back in. And so that was just another punch to the gut because I just wanted to see him so bad, and knowing that he was right outside and couldn't come in when I was going through all of this was just awful. It was just fucking terrible. But I almost didn't have the energy to be mad. I was just fucking sad.
When did that other energy or that warming surrounding energy feel that you said was, like, ancestral, when did that fade away for you?
Once they were taking me onto the ambulance,
Yeah?
it was almost like I was being passed from one hand to another. That's
Man, that
kinda what it felt like.
do you feel like I mean, how does that make you feel?
I think looking back, I definitely I definitely trust whatever spiritual presence was there more than the folks on the ambulance.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
It's so terrible to say, because my mother's an EMT, but
N
I didn't know those people, and the guy that was trying to put a needle in my hand was, like, I don't know, 21 years old, and I'm just like, "Jesus Christ, really?" I didn't feel as comforted once I was in the ambulance because, I mean, I do understand, like, this is all now I'm in the hands of humans again. I'm this and we're all human, and we all make mistakes, and now I have to rely on these humans that I don't know to get me to my next point of safety, basically. to get me to the hospital and to start addressing the problem. Leave like that moment of we've done everything we can do now to, okay, nope, now it's go time again. Now we're in a new environment and there's more to do. So I think that's when it kind of switched and it was like, all right, nope, you got to click it into gear again. And it was more anxiety inducing, I think. With once I was in the ambulance, it was like, okay, I know that I'm going to get taken to a hospital and they're going to run scans and we're going to figure out what's wrong. And they figured out basically what had happened, um, but they didn't know why at that point in time. All the neurologist could tell me was that my software was working, but my mechanisms were not, like my mechanics were not. So like my brain seemed to be functioning. I was still there. I could think and everything. You know, I didn't have any confusion or anything like
Mhm.
that, but my body just wasn't listening. It wasn't listening at all. Um, and so eventually my sister was the first person to show up. And my sister is quite a bit younger than me. There's 11 years between us. But we've always said that she's the most sane out of all of us when it comes to these kinds of situations. So she showed up and like just alleviated my stress so much now that I finally had someone in
Mm.
the room with me.
How long were you by yourself before your sister came?
Oh God. I feel like it was at least like an hour or two
Oh,
because
wow.
they also called my mother. I remember the nurse calling my mother because she was listed as my emergency contact, and she lives, like, 2 hours away from where I was, um, and I remember hearing her voice on speakerphone on the nurse's phone, and I could hear, like, just the slightest crack in her voice that she was trying to go into that mode of, like, "Don't be worried. You have to triage this. You have to act. You can't feel right now." But it was her daughter, and I remember feeling so bad in that moment where, like, my mother's worst nightmare was coming true, you know? A mom never wants to get a call from a fucking hospital saying that your daughter just arrived in an ambulance, and I knew that it was like, that's a mom's worst nightmare that's coming true right now, and I'm listening to it.
So when you say bad, you mean like guilty? You felt guilty or something, or what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah, I felt guilt, I felt, like, worried for my mom. I didn't want her to have this on her plate right now. Like, fuck. I never wanted to put my mom in this situation where she got a call from a hospital. I just never wanted that.
Were you still, I mean, at this point where, tests are coming back, it's confirmed that you're having a stroke or you had a stroke. Were you still thinking like this was caused by the drinking?
Yeah.
Like regular alcohol at this point?
Yep.
You
Yep.
still, I mean, you think you're this fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At this
And
point, I thought it was still my fault.
did you like express, to the doctors, like obviously they're asking you like what did you do? Were you able to like tell them like, I went out last night, I've been sick this morning, were you able to relay any of that info?
I tried to kind of sign it um, and mumble it, and they had me repeat myself. It was really hard to communicate what had happened the night before until Benny was eventually allowed to come into the hospital with the shift change for the night nurse. She went and got him because he was still in his car outside of the emergency room.
How
And
many hours had passed?
oh my God, this was like, okay, so it was like 11 o'clock was the shift change, and I got to the hospital at like 3:30.
Oh, wow. And he'd been sitting out there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
7 hours.
yeah. And they finally let him in. And he was able to provide more detail than even I really understood at that point. Like, he went into detail about what happened the night before and how I was acting and how unlike me it was, and still nobody thought like, they did do a 5-panel, just regular urine test as a standard, but they explained to me later, like, any kind of toxin or date rape drug is not gonna show up on a 5-panel, you know? They were like, "Yeah, we saw a little bit of marijuana in there, and, that's about it." I'm like, "Wow,
A little
a
bit.
little bit?" Shit.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to stop by throughtherougugh.net to check out our latest episodes, merchandise, and hit that donation tab to keep content coming. See you again next week.